After a time on the Rance, I'm back to my old little haunt, which is the lake of Mayenne, and it's rather pleasant. I'm in the little yellow boat, just fine. There's no engine. It's very easy to handle, very easy to car top. I'll show you my system for car topping when I get in. I'm going towards the leisure centre. So I don't really want to go down there because I'll be downwind and it'll be tricky to get off the beach. And just adjusting the helm a little bit. So no engine noise, all very quiet. So I'll show you a little bit more. Okay. I'm paddling along here in absolute quiet, just keeping my helm and just near the bank. It's absolute silence, just apart from a little bit of bird song in my voice and this pedal grating along the gunnel of the boat. And so we're going up a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit up the side where there's less wind by paddling, and then I'll run before the wind or go in a full reach as we get down. This is absolutely beautiful. It's a lot smaller than the Rance. No sewing machine. This is just sailing and paddling, and this little 10-foot plastic boat, which has served me well since my 50th birthday. And that was 12 years ago, just a year after I started to learn to sail. This was my first boat. I've done modifications to it since. I broke the mast, the original mast. It was a very flimsy aluminium mast, and then I tried it with a mirror rig, and well, it's quite good. That's my first time up the Rance, but I think this is the best one I've had, which is a Sports Optimist rig. Sprit-rigged, and I've got a topping lift to lift up the boom to give me some room to paddle. So I just sit down on the floor. I got rid of the thwart. It was doing very little good. There's a little bit of wind here, so I just let it blow, and when it's relaxed a bit, I can paddle down a little bit. Okay, I've turned round and I'm on my way back down. There are occasional gusts of wind. Oh, that! I'm touching bottom. Very softly, so seems to be no problem. Okay, so this is about the last one before I recover the boat and show you how it's car topped. Right, we're coming in towards the slipway. It's a very tiny one, just under those trees. You'll hardly be able to see it. There's a fellow with a motorcycle, perhaps fishing. I don't know. It's tiny little, but it's just right. And the nice thing about it, it's free, and the parking's free. I've just recovered the boat. Usual routine: take the rudder off before getting into shallow water, or extremely shallow water, and it's more or less she's more or less facing the wind, so there's no problem there. It's an extremely simple system of de-rigging. All I have to do is to undo a clip for the main sheet and take down the sprit and undo the boom bang and fold the boom up against the mast, pull the mast out, and that's it. It's extremely easy, extremely simple. It's one thing I love about this boat, but of course this kind of boat is only good for river sailing or in very calm conditions. Because this is the very boat in which I took part in a friendly regatta at Mayenne, and we had about some 23 knot gusts, and this boat actually sank, or began to sink, because water had got into the waterproof compartments, or so-called waterproof compartments. And the first capsize was not by one side as usual, but by the stern. The most incredible experience. Fortunately, help was near at hand, and we got the boat onto the beach. She was on her side. I was trying to do the best I could to avoid destroying the rigging, and we emptied the water out. Of course, by here, by this this is a port stopper. So I just took that out. Oh gosh, the stern needs sanding and re-varnishing. It's in pretty rough condition. One thing I like about this boat, or the idea that I got from England, can't remember the name of the fellow so far, but the Mersey punt, which is a very different kind of boat than this one, but this system of the gooseneck is just simply that. It's held in by the bang, and it's as simple as that. And the boom bang does the same. Does two functions here. Holds the boom down and acts as the Cunningham to maintain the tension of the luff. This is for adjusting the the sprit, well, I'm just about to take it all down. The other interesting thing about this rig I've devised is it has a topping lift, and I can just pull it up, undo the main sheet, and I've got room to row, which I did a little bit earlier with the paddle. And so it's a very nice little river boat, and just great for this area here, where no engines are allowed, or at least no petrol engines are allowed. You can go out. You can use an electric engine. Many people do for fishing, but there's less area here. Right, I'm going to start dismantling a bit, and I'll show you different stages because I've nobody and nothing to hold the camera. The wonderful thing about this car is that the whole rig, I haven't even had to remove the sail from either the mast or the boom. So I just fold the boom against the mast, and I put in the sprit separately, and that goes down to the passenger footwell with the passenger seat all the way back seat up, and the car, the boot of the car closes completely, which is wonderful, because like that, the only thing that goes up on the roof rack here will be the hull. So what I do here, I'll keep the video running whilst I do this. I've got two sliding members, and those go into two holes in the roof rack. This one too. A little screw goes in, and so that gives that. And so I bring the boat alongside. Not easy to do it with just one hand. And then I get the wheel in. Get the wheel in there just like that. And then when I finished emptying everything out, I'll hook the gunwale of the boat onto those two hooks, tip the boat up, and then slide it up and onto the roof rack. I'm going to have to stop here in order to do it. This is the first stage of getting the boat up. I've hooked the gunwale onto the two hooks, and this thing is beginning to annoy me. I have to get it right somehow, and there's still a lot of grass from where I parked the boat at home, and so there's the system as it is. So all I've got to do now is I've got the boat at a good height in order to be able to lift it by hand without doing the back end. The boat is now up on the roof rack, and you just lift the launching trolley by hand. And I have this, which I hook onto the bow. Put it a little bit more, and that makes sure that the trolley can't fall off the back of the boat. It could actually fall off the back of the car together with the boat. But what I do is I make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm going to pull the boat back a little bit. So that the point of attaching engages on the trolley at this point in front of the wheels, and at this point, and everything is squeezed downwards. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'll show you one final sequence with the straps on. There we are, all sorted, tidy and safe. The straps are on, nice and tight. The boat doesn't move, and there we have the launching trolley, which is on the hull, and then the front of the launching trolley, as I showed you, is attached to the bow of the boat. So the launching trolley can't go back any further, and the launching trolley is held down with the same force as the boat on the roof rack. This is rather interesting. I don't know if it's visible very easily. It's a kind of beetle. Oh yes, here we are. Kind of beetle, one on top of the other. I think they're mating, and they have a lot less reserve about it than we do. You know, it's coming out of the hole. Probably get blown off by the wind. Anyway, one of those lovely little things in nature. This is the famous Mayenne Dam, and there's a big sluice in the middle for getting bigger quantities of water out. And like the Rance, it's a power station, and somewhere in there are generators, and the plant. Well, you can't see it from here, but anyway, it's rather impressive. It seems to have been built in the 1970s. You can walk across it on foot, but you can't drive across. And it seems to be built in such a way that a boat that found itself up against the precipice wouldn't go over, because there are protective pieces of metal. But in any case, there's a row of buoys that mark the limit, which we in boats we observe. So there's no lock here. You can't go through on a boat. That just is the end of the Mayenne Lake reservoir, and then there's the continuation of the Mayenne, which goes down towards the town of Mayenne, and through a great number of locks, all the way down to Angers, and joins up with the Loire. I'd like very much to do some serious river sailing, but it will be in the other boat. Well, this is the end of the Tuesday evening outing. Just a little one here. Sun is it's getting well. It's after 8 o'clock in the evening. Still a little bit of wind, and there's the boat on the car, and I'm ready to go home. So that's where I'm going right now. Oh, I'll keep the camera on, because I'll take you. I'll show you along some of this lovely road before I get to the next village. So I'll keep it going as I drive. Is it safe enough? There's nobody on the road. There we are. And engine on, and then here we go. This is something to do with the power station, I believe. That up there is the convent and an old people's home. I don't know how many sisters there are. There's a 19th century chapel. It all seems to be in good condition, which is rare for France, but I think it's the old people's home that finances everything. Lovely third, and there's the Mayenne alongside the road, and get along here. Go rather carefully here, because it's there we go, and then we'll go up here. I'm very privileged to live in this part of the country. Well, it's a lot more beautiful than. Just have a quick look. No one coming. This goes up towards Brittany, the Prière. which is a little village. On the way back at the so we're going down south alongside the Mayenne, because the next bridge is at Sprit-rigged. So this is rather lovely. This is the evening. It's a lot cooler now. Looking forward to getting my meal when I get back home. Got some stewed beef. I'll probably eat that with pasta. And so that should be nice. I had very little at lunchtime. I didn't feel like very much. I just had a couple of bread buns with pate. Right. Well, we're coming up to Sprit-rigged. Just going to stop the car here and put my seatbelt on, because what I can do is, if there are any gendarmes, I can just very quickly hide the camera so that I'm not seen with a mobile phone in my hands, which is illegal whilst driving. Oh, this is very beautiful down here. I'm coming. So, just one second. There we are. There's just one little sun coming through the trees, enough to inspire any romantic poet. With lovely things to say about the nature. It's one of the characteristic things about the romantics is their love of nature. The fact about humanity is that we are a part of nature and not to dominate nature. There we are. This is Saint-Frémbault de Prière. It's an odd name for well, Saint-Frémbault would be a saint, a person. This looks as if it might have been a religious building at one time, but perhaps looks as if it would be a school now. I'm not sure. There's no indication. And come up here. This is all part of the cruise. Now on land, but it doesn't matter. There are just as many lovely things on land as on the water. And here to the right, after the building, is the village church, which is rather lovely. It looks as if it's in good condition. And down there, that would have been the mairie. And coming over here. And so just going to come up to the stop. So down here we're going to cross the Mayenne, which will enable us to go up north again to La Traversenne. There's a bit of sunshine dazzling the camera in my eyes. Anyway, here we are. This is the right. I'll slow right down, and we can see the Mayenne. This is the Mayenne downstream from the dam. So this isn't navigable. Maybe in a canoe, but no more than that. Okay, La Traversenne. Shots of to photograph. There's the lake. Beautiful, isn't it? And that house I saw from the water, but from the other end. We're coming down into another little valley, which is very lovely. I love the Channel. Even though it's inland, I don't get to the sea as often as I used to. There's a lake line. Wait a minute. There's a better view of the lake. There we are. And there's a lady on our stand-up board. And she seems to be very courageous. And she decided to go out even later than I did to get the coolness of the evening. And also for my sail today, I have the most precious piece of equipment which I lost on the somewhere on the Rance. I had a spare hat at home, which is just there in the car. Right, and here is 4 kilometers, and so this is the Étre de la Seine. Just hope you don't get caught by the gendarmes, because even holding a mobile phone in your hand, you get a fine. The Colmont, which is sort of a branch, probably you can't see it anymore. I get to see a little bit through the trees. That goes into the Mayenne. We're going upstream now, and we're now. There are 2 rivers. There's the Mayenne and there's the other river. I can't remember the name of it offhand. Farm down there, and going up to the top of some little hill, and looks like it's a earth. Right, there we go. And down here, it's a lot of fields. It's what the French call the bocage. But there's some maize down here. There's still a part of the lake, but you can't see it. Just behind the trees there. So we're going up towards the Mayenne Valley. It's a great opportunity to be able to show you a little bit of my world. Probably was here where you can boats in the water, but it's narrow bits of river, and because no engines are allowed. Right, I'm going to slow down here because it's 50 here. That over there is the local gendarmerie, their radio tower. And then some very ordinary businesses. I'm going to slow right down here because it's 30 and it's a bump. And then just here, bumpity bump, and then go up to the statutory 50 again. Local little supermarket where I can go when I need just a for a small amount of stuff, but the prices are quite high. This is a very lovely little village. Well, it's a little bit more than a village, but a little bit less than a town. Right. Make sure they're keeping to the speed limit. Right. There are some quite interesting, shall we say, riverside houses. You'll see why I say riverside, because the river is just down here. It's not the Mayenne. I'll tell you the name of it in a minute, because it's indicated on the bridge. We go over the bridge. Seconds here. And I've still got a big van behind me. And up here is the local church, which is pure Romanesque. It's an absolute beauty of a church. Alright, here we go. And then some rather lovely house. It's rather like North Brittany. It's all granite. Must be quite sad in the winter time, but it's rather lovely in the summer. Here's an old railway, but I think it's now a cycle road. There aren't any trains anymore. So we're now leaving on the valley, and a few businesses. The local rubbish dump, which is quite convenient, but if I want to get rid of something that you can't put in the dustbin. Down the road we go. There we are. Think about driving with one hand. Got to be careful. There we are. So this is very much the bottom. This little road here is quite cyclable. I can come down here on the bicycle and go to Umbria, which is very nice. And I very much enjoy cycling, and it's not too hot. Buildings of Mayenne, which is the village where I live. And here's the sign. With a C, not with an S. And the cute accent on the final crucifix must have been from 18. Can't quite, I think 30 or something like that. Very much part of that. There was a great, like in most of Britain, in the Vendée, there was quite a a revival of Christianity after the revolution. This is the local church. Again, this is pure Romanesque. I don't know if it's still open. No, I think they shut it. Otherwise, I'd stop the car and take you in. But this church does open each day. So I go up this little alley here, and a bit more sunshine in there. And then we're going to turn right here. And here in this lovely leafy street. Oh, my roses come out beautifully. This is part of my garden. And it's this lovely rose. I cut the grass a couple of days ago. And I have a geranium outside the front door here. And there's Sarum there, and my house. Now I'm going to go to the parking place where I park the car. This road is too narrow to park on the road. Sometimes there's some very wide vehicles. Just yesterday a combine harvester came down this road, and they had to be extremely careful not to touch any of the buildings. So I don't. No, I'm not going to try that. I'm going to concentrate on not going into the wall. Neighbours are there. So this is where I parked the car, and there we are. So I'll switch off for now, and that's a rather splendid house at the bottom. Nobody lives in there. I don't know if anyone owns it still. Well, somebody must own it, because I don't know, but it's a great shame. The garden is overgrown. You can't see through the windows because there are, well, it's not polite to look through people's windows. So there we are. I'm going to close the video now.